Good morning, friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today, we're going to spend some time up here in the garden boxes, and y'all, we are going to plant a fall winter vegetable garden and herbs. That's right, my friends. We are going to be using the garden boxes this fall, winter, early spring for some fantastic veggies for our family. Last year was this time last year, we were just wrapping up this project in this whole entire terrace garden space. So it is 1 year old. And last fall, winter, for the early spring, what I did is a mix of tulips and daffodils for all of these garden boxes. It was gorgeous. It was spectacular. But you know what? I like to do things different every year, right? Sometimes you just get bored and you just want to switch things up. So we are going to do herbs and veggies. Very excited because, of course, we are North Carolina, a Zone 8A, and I am blessed that our temperatures and our climate allow us to have winter gardens. Everything that we're going to do today, except for the herbs, are going to be a direct sow of seeds. This is a great time to do it. Temperatures are beginning to calm down a little bit. We're getting some more consistent rain. The soil, though, is still nice and warm, and these are all cool weather crops that thrive in those cool conditions of the fall and early winter. So what Miss B and I did first was to clean out this the center box, right? So in this center box, it was the last one that held the annuals. We had the Super Petunia Mini Vista white petunias on the corners. We had the new unplugged white salvia that had done phenomenal all year long. Loved it. The pollinators loved it. And so we went ahead and pulled those out, obviously, because this is where we're going to put the herbs. So the herbs, and we're going to put some violas in here for a little punch of color. They're going to go in here, and because these herbs will be perennials that I'm planting today. So we got those cleaned up, and then we also got the large urn that's up in the garden, got it cleaned out as well, because we're going to put some of those same violas up there. So we had to clean everything out. We'd already removed all of the other annuals a couple of weeks ago. And so what we're going to do before we even begin planting is we're going to come in and we are going to bring up some more soil, because of course every time that you have plants and you remove them, you're going to lose some of your soil, right? So you can see how it's nice and low right here. We need to bring this up. And we're going to use the black gold. This is the raised bed and potting mix. So this is perfect. This is specifically blended for these kinds of applications. Of course, you can use it in the landscape, but they actually work really, really well in these raised bed gardens. Also, what I love about this is that it is OMRI listed certified. So this means that this has gone through a strenuous I don't even know what we call it, standards, right, to prove that this is actually organic soil. And because we are going to be using these beds for our food consumption, I want it to be organic. So this is what we love about it. We have actually use this in flower beds with flowers. We're not eating the flowers, but it works really, really well for those applications as well. So we're going to be using this. So I've got 4 bags per box. You can see, obviously, we have the drip tubing in here. So I'll kind of, like, as I empty the bags, I'll lift up the drip tubing and kind of rearrange everybody in here. So every container, we have a total of 5 of them. Every one has 4 bags minus this one. So this sweet thing, bless its little heart, we discovered after we planted, and that would be something that I would say is if you have raised garden boxes like this, because these are filled, all of them except for this one are filled completely with soil. So before you fill it with soil, make sure the irrigation works. We messed up on that part. And so make sure that the irrigation and the water is flowing, because in this box, we actually started when we were putting them together, we put like some logs and some sticks in here to try to raise up so we didn't have to use so much soil. And then we were like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. And we had a bunch of leftover professional mix. So that's what we used in the rest of them. Went ahead and hooked up the irrigation. But when we went to go turn the irrigation on, everybody works great except for this one. So there's no water, or very, very little water, coming out of the main solid pipe. So what we're gonna have to do is dig down, dig out all of this potting soil, this great organic matter in here, and figure out where there is a pinch, because we're pretty sure that that's the problem, right? So somewhere in the line, because of course all these lines are buried and then they come up through the center of the boxes, somewhere along the line, this one has a pinch, and we gotta find the pinch. And so we're not gonna plant this one today, but it works out really well because I have ordered garlic and it has not arrived yet. So this is going to be the garlic bed, which gives us some time to figure out the irrigation, and then we'll be okay. Now, in the long run of things, honestly, if we don't get this irrigation fixed in the fall, it's probably okay, because we're notoriously wet in the wintertime, and the odds of me running this irrigation are like very, very low. If I did have to run it, it would be either now when we're trying to get things to germinate, or in late spring when it gets hot. So anyway, but in my brain, I want this fixed. Like, I want it done and we'll get it taken care of, but that's not today's project. So what we're going to do is, like I said, empty out all these bags, get everybody nice and fluffy. The Rise Up Amberness Rose, she stays in here, so we'll put the herbs, and you can see the pretty violas right over here. We're doing yellow and white. So the violas are just sweet little plants that give us lots of color all year throughout the season, the fall, winter, early spring. So my colors up here are going to be the yellow, white, and then remember we did the purple. So we did the little lavender, I think it was lavender flash mix of violas here just the other day. So we have got the sweet little purples, blues, and whites up here. So we're gonna have yellow and white up here, also in the little urn, because I'm going to do again in December, I've already got my order in, of course, with color blends. We're gonna do the mass planting of those bright yellow tulips that we did last year. Oh, it was gorgeous. So we're gonna have yellow tulips along the driveway, yellow and white violas in this garden, and then in the next coming week or so, I'm gonna put the rest of the yellow and the white violas up at the chicken coop. So yellow, white, and purple are the theme for the year down here. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, let's talk about what we're going to plant. I love Johnny's Select Seeds. We have ordered from Johnny's for, I would say, close to 20 years. Like, we have ordered from them for so long that when we were going to the farmer's market and we were selling produce and growing cut flowers to sell for the farmer's market for our CSA, we got our seeds from Johnny's. And so I continue to order from Johnny's. They are a wonderful resource. So if you're looking for some fall veggies, head on over to Johnny's Seeds. So what we have here is, Jerry's getting ready to leave, and Brenna's she likes to run with the machines, which we do not like her to do. So we're going to keep her contained right here and keep her focused on us and not chasing after Jerry in the machine while we talk about our Agile Good Girl. All right, we're good now. So here we have, everything is laid out. So we are going to do two different kinds of radishes. I've got Sora, and I have got a hybrid daikon. I don't know. This is Bravo. Then we've got carrots. We have got Caravel, and we have got Purple Star. I like to get the pelleted ones on those seeds that are really teeny tiny. It just helps you spread them out a little easier. So we've got two different kinds of carrots. We've got two different kinds of beets. We've got the gold, the Touchstone Gold, and then we have got the Boro, which is a nice red. And then we've got three different kinds of kale. We love kale. I've got White Russian, Dazzling Blue, and Frisee. And then we have got a nice little lettuce, a romaine lettuce. So we have got that. So what we're gonna do first is just go ahead and prepare the beds. I think there's still some little sprouts of some annuals coming up. Got like some little portulaca, so that evidently we gotta get all that cleaned up. So we're gonna get everything cleaned up, and then when it's time to plant the seeds, I'll meet you back here. all of the soil is laid out. The irrigation is laid back down. I got the herbs and the violas laid out in the center bed, and so I am ready to start planting. So let's do a little talk here about what we're gonna do. So I've got the seed packets divided out amongst the 3 different boxes. So in box number 1, we're going to do the romaine lettuce and then the beets together. So like I said, we've got Touchstone Gold and then the Boro. So there's about, says 350 seeds on the beets, and let's see, 500 of the romaine. So I like to do, when I do lettuce, I don't do like heads of lettuce. I will just spread it, and then I come through, and when I cut it, like I cut like the leaves. I don't cut like a whole head, which you absolutely could do. But that, for me, that's just the easiest thing to do. Is I just like to do like a row of the lettuce. So we're gonna do that. Obviously, follow the directions on the seed packets, because each plant, each seed is going to have different specifications on how you plant it. So the great thing about Johnny's is on the back of the packet, it tells you exactly how you are supposed to go ahead and like direct seed. So there you go, direct seed. Seeds germinate even at low 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to sow seeds about 1 inch apart, rows 12 to 18 inches apart, or in clusters 3 to 4 seeds every 8 inches. Cover seeds lightly with about 1/8 of an inch of soil. Keep the soil moist. So there you go. So I'm just going to follow the directions and put those out. And then over here, we're going to do the kale. So I've got the 3 different kinds of kale. So we'll have the kale. With every seed that I put out, like the type of seed, the variety, or the row, however I'm going to do it, I'm going to use my copper plant labels, because I will not even begin to remember who I planted where or what is what. So these are great. So they have the stakes on them. They have the copper labels. Then you write, of course, with the garden marker. This is that UV protectant, so it does not fade. It is an alcohol-based ink, water and fade resistant. So love this. I've been using this for years. And then I'm going to use my Hori to create my little rows. So that's what I have my Hori for. I am not going to try to do the rows like with the irrigation, because once I actually need the irrigation, then these plants are going to have roots everywhere, so I can just turn it on and it'll water the whole bed and everything will work out fine. So don't be too concerned about like how the irrigation is laid out right now. And then over here, we're going to put carrots and radishes together. So that will be really fun over here. And then of course, in the center box, I have 4 herbs, because a lot of, some of the herbs, don't overwinter. Like obviously basil's not going to overwinter for me. So we have these at the garden center. Cece had grabbed these to have at the garden center. So I have 2 different kinds of thyme. This is the pink chintz over here. Then we're gonna put that on the edge, so that way it can like spill over. And then on here, we've got a variegated one that is super cute. This is the silver edge thyme. So again, put it on the corner, let it spill over. Went ahead and filled up my little trough here with some fresh potting soil. We're going to put violas in there, just keeping it simple. The white and the yellow, they're all going to grow together and look like this mass of white and yellow. And then of course repeating those same violas in this garden box. I've got flat leaf parsley. So I am a flat leaf parsley kind of girl. I am not a cilantro girl. I just don't like cilantro. So even if a recipe calls for cilantro, I'm going to use flat leaf parsley. Typically for us, if I can get my parsley established before like the really cold weather hits, it'll overwinter for me. And typically it's like a biannual, so I can get 2 years out of it. Even if it only lasts me through December, hey, it's okay. It's going to give me some great fresh herbs in the garden, right in the house, so I can use those. So that's great. I did have 5 of them. I technically still do have 5 of them. But we got a slew of black swallowtail caterpillars, right, that turn into the black swallowtail butterflies. So we have got, like, I counted 23 of those caterpillars in the garden. It was on my golden Alexander, and they had stripped the golden Alexander, so I grabbed 4 of my parsleys and just stuck them, they're still in their pots, around that so that the caterpillars could eat the parsley. We'll see if they survive the caterpillars. If they don't, it is well worth it. So yeah. And then my parsley, if it doesn't survive, I'll just plant it, direct sow it in the spring and have it throughout the season. And then my last herb is a sage. This is Bergotten, I guess. And so it said it's a hardy German sage, compact, massive leaves on it. I'm not a huge sage person, but when you need sage, you need sage. So why not just grow it and have it there? So that's what we did. And then, of course, like I said, filling in with the violas. So what I'm going to do is just, as the cardinals are singing, we're just going to go through and get everybody planted. In this box, I am going to go ahead and top dress with the Daddy Pete soil enhancer, because these are like actual plants right now. And so just go ahead and insulate them, make it look clean and neat and tidy. And yes, I know that the boxes are dirty. They have debris on them from summer's garden. So once everything's said and done, I'm going to haul a hose up here, and then I have a brush that I use. I actually use it for my bird feeder, not my bird feeders, my bird baths. And it's like I bought it at the grocery. It's like a kitchen brush, right? So like to clean your dishes, but I use it for my bird baths. So I will get that and the hose and get everything cleaned off. So don't worry, I'm gonna make it look nice and neat and tidy for the winter. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on working. We are done for today. We got all the seeds in, we got them watered, we got the boxes cleaned, we got the herbs planted, the violas planted. It's perfect timing, early afternoon. I had to shed some clothing because I tell you, it is a warm spot up here. So let me show you everything, and don't the garden boxes look so much better? As far as to clean them, all I had to do was wet them down. You can see I have my hose up here. Wet them down. I had a microfiber towel, wet that, wiped them, and then rinsed. Now, I see a couple spots I'll have to go back and get, but overall, so much better, especially this middle one where the petunias were getting it all messy and dirty. So again, it is fall. We keep things simple around here. Sweet little violas give us cheer. And this little bed is going to be fun because I can come out and harvest some herbs whenever I need them. And those little violas will get nice and big and cheery. The honeybees were already coming and enjoying and sniffing on them. And then there you go. I mean, there's not much to see right now, right? So we've got the seeds in there and then got everybody labeled. So as they sprout, I will be able to tell who is who and what is happening. So they're basically just in straight rows. Again, irrigation will hardly ever get used this winter. I doubt it'll even be turned on. So I did leave the hose up here. That way I can come in and just dampen everything, keep the soil moist until the seeds germinate. We are supposed to get 3 days of some nice light rain in the next day or two. So I'm only gonna have to really water these guys for maybe 2 days. And then those cloudy days, cooler days, a little bit of rain, man, it'll be perfect. And the great thing about this raised bed mix is that it has so much compost in there, it holds the moisture really well. So it should all be fine. And then the radishes, I suspect that my radishes will be the first ones to come up. So with the radishes and the carrots, I alternated them back and forth. So I have a carrot, radish, carrot, radish. I just thought it'd be fun to do that way. So that's what I did. So got everybody in, seeded, watered. Now we just sit back and wait. And then of course, like I said, in tomorrow morning, I'll come out, give everybody a little drink of water, a little shot of water. Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty simple, right? So if you've never done a winter garden, if you're in an area that allows it, of course, all of these seeds could also be sown in early spring because they love those cool temperatures. So you have hot weather plants, you have cool weather plants, just like we have hot weather people and we have cool weather people, right? So different strokes for different folks for sure. And then I did plant the urn that has my Goshiki osmanthus in it. Kept it really simple, y'all. I just put the yellow and white violas, and I only put them on the front. I just alternated them back and forth on the front half because the back half is not going to get any sun. So why waste the plants back there? So I didn't. I just kept them on the front, white, yellow, white, yellow. So there you go. All right, my friends. It's been a great day in the garden. I will keep you updated on the germination process and progress, rather. But yeah, we're just enjoying these beautiful, glorious days, October, in the garden. As always, if you have found it fun, informative, and inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. Y'all have an amazing day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.